Hello, and welcome to SportsLine. Brendan Rigney here, Anna Gomez beside me. To those faithful viewers, we're back. And to those first-time viewers, salutations. This is a sports show where we cover the rest of LaSalle's sports and athletic events. But we're back from the summer. I'm excited. Exactly how excited I am, I can't really say because there are laws against these things. But let's get to the action.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I agree. I'm excited too. Well, we've got a great show for you. Jake Smolenski will be at the desk later with a new segment, Picks of the Week. But first, let's catch up on what went down this past week with our athletes.
Well, in the past few weeks, women's cross country has continued their momentum from last year at the Lehigh Invite. Already making waves in this season was 2014 A10 cross country champion Morgan Zeckley, who won the 6 kilometer in 21 minutes and 40 seconds. Sophomores Megan Connell, Caitlin Poez, and freshman Molly Deary followed. At the Big Five Invitational, Caitlin Poez led the Explorers in the 4K to take 6th place. The sophomore who sat out on injury last year was just 13 seconds behind first place with a time of 14 minutes and 25 seconds. Megan Connell crossed the finish line 8 seconds later to take 10th place. Olivia Boyer and Rebecca Scarlatti paced the 62-runner field to take 38th and 39th place. LaSalle overall placed 4th, averaging a time of 15 minutes and 14 seconds.
And hoping to return stronger than last year, the men's team also paced well in Lehigh's 6-kilometer race. Finishing first for the Explorers, redshirt senior Ian Barnhill clocked in with a time of 19 minutes and 46 seconds. Less than a second behind was graduate student Nick Libby, who competed for the first time as an Explorer. Junior David Ozarowski and 7 other Explorers finished within a second of each other, clocking in at 20 minutes and 17 seconds. LaSallian success continued in the 6K, continued at the Big Five Invitational, this time on the heels of Fran Ferruzzi, the junior earning himself first collegiate place with a time of 19 minutes and 5 seconds. And then seconds later, duo Stephen Lewandowski and David Ozarowski finished with a time of 19 minutes and 37 seconds. Sophomore Nick Lefavor took 29th place in 19 minutes and 45 seconds. Collectively, the men took 4th place, edging out Villanova by 15 points. On Friday, September 18th, the Explorers will travel to Haverford College to race at the Main Line Invitational.
LaSalle golf team opened their season at the Rutgers Invitational on Friday, September 11th and Saturday, September 12th. The Explorers were able to take home 3rd place at the tournament, thanks in large part to a great performance from PJ Osierno. The redshirt junior shot 6 under par for the tournament. His birdie on the 18th hole in the final round won him the Invitational by 1 stroke. Another key performer was graduate student Tony Eifpoon, who shot 2 under par for the tournament. Freshman Nick Gaiman also contributed by shooting the Explorers' lowest round on Saturday and by going 4 over par for the tournament. The Explorers returned to the course at George Mason Intercollegiate on Sunday, September 27th.
And the volleyball squad followed their own solid 4 record with a weekend of matches beginning on September 11th against Bucknell. In the Volley of the Valley Invitational, the Explorers lost in the straight sets to the Bisons by scores of 25-20, 25-15, and 25-19. Laura Kohlmeyer tallied a team-high 10 kills in the loss, while freshman setter Taylor Height added 24 assists. The next day, their bad luck continued against Marist University, dropping a consecutive game in straight sets, 25-22, 25-17, and 25-22. The Red Foxes controlled set 1 after a 17-17 tie with a pair of aces and dominated the second set immediately with a 9-1 run. After overcoming a 17-8 deficit in set 3 by scoring 13 of the next points, LaSalle floundered and allowed a 7-1 run by Marist.
Eager to make the most of part 2 of their Saturday doubleheader, LaSalle took on Bryant University. Fortune appeared to turn in the Explorers' favor early on as they took first set 25-20. However, the success was short-lived, beginning with set 2. After holding a 20-14 lead thanks to back-to-back kills from Laura Kohlmeyer, LaSalle allowed a late bulldog rally that stole the set 26-24. Sets 3 and 4 ended with misfortune as well, falling 25-20 and 25-17 in Bryant University's favor. Next up, LaSalle battled Fairleigh Dickinson at the Gola on the 16th. Our boy, Jacob Smolenski from Buffalo, has the story. Check it out.
On Wednesday, September 16th, women's volleyball took to the Tom Gola to take on the Fairleigh Dickinson Knights. Coming off of a tough string of losses at the Volley in the Valley tournament, morale was definitely a major question. However, LaSalle hasn't lost at home so far this season, and it didn't look like today was going to break that streak. The Explorers came out swinging in the first set with Kohlmeyer, Cook, and Felton leading the attack up top with support from freshman Taylor Height. The team was extremely responsive and in sync throughout the first set. Kohlmeyer especially was a dominant force from the left side of the net, crushing anything that came her way. The Knights couldn't muster up any momentum during the set, and LaSalle steamrolled them 25-17. In the second set, play got a little sloppier for the Explorers, and the Knights were looking for redemption. The Knights got on a confident streak of points that led them to a 25-19 win for the second set. Now coming out of the long timeout, LaSalle was primed and ready to go. In the beginning of the third, it was a neck-and-neck scramble until LaSalle broke free and cruised to a 25-15 win. Then, as they rolled into the fourth, they did not slow down. Led by Taylor Height's brutal aces and 46 total assists, LaSalle's front row picked apart Fairleigh Dickinson and sent them back to Jersey with a final set of 25-17. Explorers won 3-1, and this makes their record 5-7. Still perfect at home, though. So, this is Jake Smolinski for LaSalle TV's SportsLine.
Field hockey began this fall season with a stiff competition, battling a 2-3 record after a strong 1-0 win against Ball State. On Sunday, September 13th, the women headed out to New Jersey to take on Rider. After allowing 3 goals in the first half, goalie Rachel Hartman pulled it together in the second and held down the defense as LaSalle's offense finally kicked in. In the 52nd minute, Jenica Smith and Julia Carfagno set up freshman Megan Kada to put LaSalle on the board for her first collegiate goal. Despite Devin Morocco's score in the final minute, the final buzzer rang before the Explorers could pull it together. The final score was 3-2 Rider.
The women's tennis team began the season unpleasantly at St. Joe's Invitational, a 3-day event beginning on September 11th. In a doubles match that Friday, freshman Alexandra Santarelli and sophomore Jade Smith lost 8-4. After Smith's woes continued as she lost her Smith's woes continued in the singles as she lost the first 2 frames. Day 2 of the Invitational was as equally frustrating for LaSalle, with freshmen Jayla Smith and Santarelli losing their singles as well.
And on Saturday, September 12th, the 1-3 men's soccer team welcomed Siena to McCarthy Stadium for an afternoon showdown. Senior Andrew Connors came up clutch for the Explorers in the 19th minute, scoring off a sweet pass from redshirt freshman Tony Daniel. This would be the game's only score, with LaSalle's defense securing the 1-0 win. Senior goalie Mike Kirks notched 2 saves against 12 shots, including a free kick in the 50th minute. Next, the men traveled to North Jersey to battle the Rider Bronx on Tuesday, September 15th. Sophomore Mike Liska opened scoring with a nice set piece from Johnny Carlanti's head in the 13th minute. Rider's Christian Flath evened the score up in the 43rd minute on a penalty kick just before the break. In the 52nd minute, junior Coleman Kennedy headed the game winner off with a Liska corner kick. The Explorers grabbed the 2-1 victory, and Liska now leads the team with 3 assists on the season.
Well, after a so-so start to their season, the women's soccer team found their rhythm and pummeled Navy 2-0, followed by a 2-1 victory over James Madison to bring their record to 3-2-2. However, the streak would end against Princeton. The Tigers opened the scoring in the 13th minute with a quick strike around LaSalle keeper Larissa Zambelli. 3 minutes before halftime, Princeton would tally a point again, this time by just skimming the ball inside the post off Tiger Mimi Assam's boot. After the break, Princeton standout Tyler Lucy made the score 3-0 in the 47th, followed by her second goal in the 87th minute. LaSalle's lone goal came after the Tigers were unable to clear a ball at minute 68, with the final scorecard reading 4-1 Princeton. LaSalle will next play rival Temple on Friday the 18th. Well, it's good to be back. Have a lot of newer sports and sports action, but we always have the A10 giving us and its athletes awards for their individual performances. And here are your latest weekly accolades for the Explorers. Starting with the soccer team, we got 2 members of the women's soccer team earned some recognition after these last few games. Fia Johnson shared co-A10 Player of the Week with St. Joe's Emily Gingrich after nabbing 6 points last week against Navy and James Madison. the last being the game winner in Sunday's match. Moving on, Marcella Robinson earned A10 Rookie of the Week after anchoring the defense for those 2 wins. Not bad, considering James Madison is actually ranked nationally.
And the next one shouldn't be too much of a surprise, with runner Morgan Zeckley earning the A10 Co-Performer Week honors after opening her season with another win. The sophomore beat 60 other runners in the 6K at Lehigh with a time of 21 minutes and 44 seconds. And rounding up our weekly honors was Caitlin Poez, who was named Rookie of the Week by the A10 after her 6th place finish in the 4K at Belmont Plateau. The redshirt freshman clocked in at 14 minutes and 25 seconds. And I believe this brings us to our first break, Brendan.
That it does, Anna, that it does. But stay tuned. When we come back, Jake Smolinski will be here with our brand new segment, Picks of the Week. We'll be right back.
Today, a new creature walks among us, terrorizing innocent citizens. Until this threat can be contained, we must all be on the lookout for the dreaded digital deadwalkers.
Dude!
They're not looking out for you.
Engage!
A public service safety message from the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons, who want to keep everyone well connected with strong, healthy bones.
9 out of 10 of us say we want to die at home. But for a third of us, this is the last place we'll see. If you had just months to live, where would you want to be? Willie wanted to enjoy her great-great-great-grandchildren. She chose hospice. See what's possible at momentsoflife.org.
And welcome back, and feels great to be back on the soundstage here in the Salle TV studios, based right out of here in South Campus, LaSalle Communication Department Center. Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, we have a brand new segment that I kind of workshopped a little bit. I decided, I think at this point in my LaSalle TV career, I carry some weight, I think I have some knowledge. What do you guys, come on, I do have my knowledge.
I'm very confident in your ability to say things in front of camera.
All right. Well, anyway, so this is my game picks of the week, and it's essentially a chance where I'm going to predict 3 games coming up and give you guys some insight into what's going on. So first, all right, we have men's soccer at UMBC. So over at UMBC, which is over in Baltimore, Baltimore actually, yeah. Yes. Don't worry about it. But all I know is that Salle University is going to be facing off against UMBC in a tough matchup. UMBC right now has a record of 7-3. These guys have been tearing up all these major colleges all across the Northeast. But what I do know is that Salle University has been pulling out some exciting wins with some serious power up top with players like Joe Farrell and Andrew Connors leading scoring attempts. These guys are keeping it real, taking chances, and really just pulling things together in clutch moments. Joe Farrell, you go, do your thing. And we also have had an incredible defense, keeping things locked down in the backfield. Incredible goalie. So yeah, anyway, I think it's going to be a pretty even game. But what I'm going to say is, I'm going to say 1-0 Explorers. It's going to be a tight battle of the defenses, and I would not rule out a tie. But I guess our one little thing that I can put on top of that is we have beaten Loyola, and they lost to Loyola. So if we're going like that sort of round, I think it's possible to. So yeah, and next I have women's volleyball for the Big 5 tourney. This is definitely going to be something to watch. Anytime we have these Philly rivalries going on, it's going to be absolutely off the wall. And especially with the coaching shift that happened last season, we saw immediate results. So even with recruiting this year, we've had an incredible just group of talent coming in, especially number 3, Taylor Height. Actually from Buffalo, New York, if you guys would like to know. Friends with my cousin. There you go. The world's a small place. But the thing is, as a freshman, she has come in and has already leapt to being the top 3 scorer for the entire squad. So in her last game, 46 assists. That's pretty serious. And so anyway, they're going to be playing Villanova, Penn, and Temple all during the Big Five tourney. And so my prediction for this, though, is Temple, they are going to be extremely ready and extremely tough. They've been demolishing everyone. They're 7-2, taking out everybody from like Navy. Like it's insane. So women's volleyball, though, I'm going to say I think they might drop the set against Temple the entire game, but I'm not going to rule out a tie, of course. But then also, I'm thinking that there might be a loss against Villanova, who is also very, very strong. But I do think that we have a genuine chance against Penn to really take these guys on. And so I think that's going to leave us, though, at a 1-2 record for the tournament, which I don't think necessarily is a bad thing. We are still a growing team. This is back here in our Philadelphia home area. And so finally, for my last pick, I'm going to say women's soccer versus Temple coming up on Saturday. And, you know, Taylor Height is now my new favorite. Sorry, Kelsey Jenkinson. You have finally moved on. Taylor Height, you are now my #1 player here at Salle University. So with soccer, though, with Kelsey Jenkinson leaving, we've had a lot of moving around going on where there's not as many. We're getting the chance to see more players step up, really make those plays. Jessica Kagan, Thea Johnson, people like that. And it's way more balanced. We have a very, very strong attack, some serious crosses going on, and the defense is also extremely strong. And especially as we get deeper into like the A10, Coach Royal is not going to let them step down in any means. Like, he's going to make sure everything's all good. So all I'm going to say is we don't have a home field advantage, but rival games like these are always extremely intense. So I'm going to say, though, this is going to be a tie, 1-1. You know, I'm just feeling it. So yeah, and those are my pick of the week predictions right there. Any comments, Brendan?
Well, first, you said that the men's soccer team is just kind of just like doing their own thing, and so they're really hanging loose right now, and it's actually showing pretty well because the end of last season they performed pretty well on the field, but they I don't know, they lost like this kind of spark. They kind of lack that. So it's nice to see they at this point are just like, throw caution to the wind. Let's just go out and see what we can do, and it's kind of paying off. You know, I mean, it's a lot more exciting to watch now. That's for sure. And I'm really excited for the women's soccer game against Temple. I'm pumped for it. I have a wedding this weekend, so I can't go to it, but I'm gonna be glued to social media the whole time. Exactly. Updates and everything. Maybe I'll sneak away from the wedding at some point. I don't know. So we'll see. Not really sure. But actually, I have something, Jake, not necessarily related to this, but I, honest to God, thought you graduated last year because I always thought you were older than me. So I'm a little surprised that you're here now. I was definitely surprised.
Yeah, I thought you were like 30.
Yeah, I don't really know. But we're very happy to have you back. We'll figure out Jake's age on the next episode of SportsLine. But anyway, let's go to some exploring headlines. We have tons of changes and accolades that have occurred over the past summer in regards to LaSalle sports. Well, at the end of the spring semester, a total of 134 explorers were named to the A10 Commissioner's Honor Roll, which is just simply astonishing. 134 people. But somehow, LaSalle actually ranked second out of all the A10 conference schools, and 5 of LaSalle's teams were in the top 10% nationally in the academic promise rate. Wow. We lost to Massachusetts, who had 154 students in that honor roll. Anyway, let's move on. 6 members of the lacrosse team were named to the academic honor roll by the Intercollegiate Women's Lacrosse Coaches Association. Jake, say that 5 times fast. Claire Andrews, Caitlin Brostrand, Maddie Collins, Anastasia Fries, and Anna Kelly, and Carrie Newby all earned the distinction after retaining a cumulative GPA of 3.5 or higher after at least 3 years in college. Let's go to the men's track and field and women's track and field. Both teams were actually recognized after compiling GPAs of 3.04 and 3.28, respectively. This earned both all-academic team honors by the Sports Coaches Association. Also, cherry on top, Morgan Zeckley earned personal recognition herself, earning all-academic honors individually. Let's go to LaSalle alums. Recently graduated men's basketball stars Jarrell Wright and Steve Zach have found new homes across the Atlantic. Wright signed with the Gussing Knights in the Austria A-League, whereas Zach will try out for the, Liepaja, Latvia in the Baltic League. I have a cold right now, so excuse me for my speech. Anyway, finally, very distinct honor. We love on SportsLine to bring people onto campus and welcome them. Team SportsLine actually is announcing 2 coaching changes in LaSalle athletics. First, congratulations to new swimming and diving head coach Jamie Platt. The newly promoted coach has been with LaSalle for 13 seasons, with the last 3 as associate head coach. And second, welcome to LaSalle, Josh Schofield. The 12-year veteran in coaching experience is now the tennis team's head coach. So a lot of big changes. Tennis has a little bit of work to do. So I'm happy to see that they found a guy who has a background in coaching to see what he can do with the program. That's a story we'll follow along for the rest of the semester. One other thing I need to address to both of you. I witnessed something at the last women's soccer game that I went to. They have these awesome new jerseys. I think we have a picture, if you could put the picture up. On the left, we have the older jerseys, the classic yellow, but I'm all about stripes. I'm feeling this one right now. But I'm just interested to see what the two of you think about this new jersey. Jake?
Honestly, I think it's great. They're beautiful, but you know what? Really makes eyes pop. But hey, I believe we're going to throw over to break right now. And
Yes.
so, yeah, we'll see you guys right after. So, yeah, thank you.
This is going terribly.
We're going to be all right. Like, I don't... What? I don't know what... Can you guys try to communicate? Like, Kevin, can you try to communicate at least...
If you keep tanning, indoors or out, the effects of harmful rays will show up on your skin. Wrinkles, age spots, and an increased risk of skin cancer, including melanoma, the deadliest form of skin cancer, and the second most common cancer in women 15 to 29. Stop tanning. Time may not be on your side. Learn how to protect your skin at spotskincancer.org. A message from the American Academy of Dermatology.
My name is Carly. I'm 15 years old and I am a heart recipient. I got my first heart transplant when I was 1.5 years old. I got my second heart when I was 13. When I step out on stage, I think I'm communicating with people. I would like to tell them that I want to make a change in life. Like, yeah, you can have 2 heart transplants, but that doesn't stop you from doing the things that you love. When I get my driver's license, of course, I'm going to say yes to be an organ donor because I've been saved twice. So who says I can't save somebody else? It's just the beginning of a new story.
This gift of life was made possible by an organ donor. Imagine what you could make possible. Learn more and sign up as an organ, eye, and tissue donor. Go to organdonor.gov.
And we're back. And now that we've covered the past, let's look to the future. Freshman Callie Aronson makes her SportsLine debut and brings us this week's marquee matchup. Check it out.
Hello, and welcome to the first marquee matchup of the year. I'm Callie Montana, here to tell you about the exciting upcoming women's soccer game. The Explorers head to Broad Street on Friday to take on their rival, the Temple Owls. The Explorers weren't doing too hot in the beginning of the season. They scored just 1 goal in over 3 games to open the season up. They knew that if they played like that, then they wouldn't get to their ultimate goal of winning an A10 championship. After the rough start, the girls started to get on a roll and scored 7 times in their last 4 games. LaSalle looks to continue with their hot streak after a 2-0 showing while on the road against Navy and the regionally ranked James Madison. If they continue this hot streak going, then the Blue and Golds have a pretty good shot at making their dream become a reality. In order for the Explorers to defeat Temple, they have to make sure they walk in there with their heads high and their hearts in the game. Temple finished up a 2-0 week and is now 6-2 on the season. It's time for the Explorers to go in there and defeat these Owls. They might be tough, but the Explorers have key players that will help them out. Senior Fia Johnson earned the Co-Atlantic 10 Player of the Week after she scored 6 points last week, and that's including the huge game-winning goal against Duke on Sunday. Johnson had also previously assisted Mary Kate Batesman in the 47th minute. Now, during Friday's game against Navy, Johnson assisted the game winner before adding an insurance goal in a 2-0 victory. Clearly, she is going to be huge help as they go to versus Temple. Now, on to another key player, freshman Marcella Robinson. She was named the A10 Rookie of the Week. She helped anchor a defense that allowed just 1 goal last week. Robinson is the only freshman to have started every game, so clearly, again, she is an important and impressive factor for the Explorers. Since the Explorers have 6 new freshmen, they are going to have to come together and truly work hard as a team. Teamwork is the most important thing in soccer, so as long as they keep that going, they should be successful. When the Explorers score in the second period, they usually come up with a win. If they continue to be aggressive on the field, then we should be seeing a lot more of those. These 2 players only make up 2 spots on the field, but if the team stays consistent while communicating and continue to play their hearts out, then the Explorers should maintain their hot streak. It's going to be interesting to see how this season goes. Make sure you stay up to date with LaSalle's women's soccer team, and hopefully we will see them winning that A10 championship. For SportsLine, I'm Callie Montana. Let's go, Explorers.
And well, that just about wraps it up for us this week. If you can't make it out to see the game or you can't see the marquee matchup, be sure to tune in next week for our coverage. Keep up with this weekend's other sporting events by visiting goexplorers.com and following us on Twitter at SportsLineLTV. We post game updates and sneak peeks into the upcoming show.
Also, check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/LaSalleTV. We welcome you to send us your thoughts and suggestions about the show on our website.
And for Jake, Callie, and our entire SportsLine team, I'm Anna Gomez.
And I'm Brendan Rigney. Thanks for joining, and we'll see you at the game.